Hello friends, welcome to our channel and in the practical series today in this video we are going to learn about one of the practical in which we will find the moment of inertia of a flywheel. So yes, you might got the idea what exactly we have to do here is as you can see on the journal also, what is the aim of this practical: to determine the moment of inertia of flywheel about its axis or about its own axis, means about that axis it is rotating, about that axis we have to find the moment of inertia. Obviously we know that moment of inertia is what generally mathematically we define it as summation over mi ri square, right? You know the basic definition of moment of inertia that we have learned in our 12th standard also, mi ri square. This is what we call moment of inertia, or if we have then continuous body, then we generally found it as r square into dm, like this. Okay, now okay, mathematically it is okay what is moment of inertia and all, but now how we can say what is exactly the moment of inertia means, that we will see within a minute, and then we will go actually towards the practical. Okay, now so moment of inertia means whenever we are talking about a motion of a body. Now in general motion, if we are talking about linear motion, then we know that that linear motion is restricted by one of the thing, and that is basically the mass of that body, right? So therefore we call mass is the inertia, mass is the inertia in linear motion, right? Now on the same view, if we go to the rotational motion, and we can say that for rotational motion the thing which is opposing to the rotational motion, we call it as moment of inertia. What actually mass is doing in linear motion? Mass is opposing to the motion. Yes, that means what, if I want to displace this pen from one point to another point, who is actually the restricting? Only the mass of this pen, right? Now yes, it is very less mass as compared to my, that's why I can move it is easily. But if we are talking about some bigger thing which is greater than the mass of ours, then obviously who is actually restricting? Now let us consider a big thing we have to displace from one point to other point, and yes, about what we are actually working. So we are working about our opposite to the mass, and that is what we can say in simple language. The inertia in linear motion is nothing but opposition to the motion, and it is doing by the mass. And similarly when we are talking about circular motion, we cannot say directly, but when we are talking about the rotational motion, then the opposition which is by the body for the rotational motion, we call it as moment of inertia. Okay, now see here we have we will require the flywheel and a meter scale, vernier caliper, stopwatch, and some small weights, right? Now yes, all the journal, complete pdf file of journal you will get in the description box of this video, so don't worry. And now let's come to the formula. What is formula? This formula is the final formula, and by which we have to get this I stands for moment of inertia, m is the mass, g is acceleration due to gravity, h is the height, t is time required, moreover we call it as time period, and r is the radius of that particular flywheel's axle, pi s, and n2 are the number of rotations, n1 are the initial number of rotations, and all that we will see in detail very soon. Okay, now let's have a look on these all the parameters that I have just talked to you, and how to do this particular experiment. Now that we will see. So what exactly we have now, I will try to draw a diagram so that you can understand. Now this is an axle, and about which we have fixed our flywheel. Okay, we know axle, right? So we have a flywheel like this, we can say. Let me try to draw the three-dimensional diagram. So this is a flywheel, and from the center point we have this axle. So about this axle it will rotate. Okay, right? Now this is what we call the flywheel. So of that flywheel we want to find the moment of inertia, right? Now for this r in our formula is actually the radius of axle of the flywheel, right? Not the flywheel, but axle of this rack. So obviously this is a axle, metal axle, so we will use the vernier caliper and we will calculate its radius, right? That is what first thing you should do when you go to the experiment. Now next what we have to do, so we have one small hole here to this axle, and we can say, and one counter is here to count the number of rotations. A counter is here on the axle only. So obviously to that counter we have a screw by which we can reset the rotations which were already recorded in the counter. And we have a small hole here, so in which we can insert a pin, and to that pin we will attach a string and a hanger. Okay, so initially what we will do, we will attach the hanger of 200 gram. So hanger itself has a weight 200 gram, and obviously you might get an idea, we will add in order of 200 only, 200, 600 and 800, right? Now so for this, once you attach it, then let us rotate by our hand in opposite direction. Just give some turns to this wire, this string. So let us consider, initially you will give some turns, and that is what N1. Let us consider we have given the 5 turns. Okay, 5 turns. That means we have rotated this axle or rotated this flywheel in opposite direction by how much rotations? 5 rotations, right? Now, and just you have to hold this point, because once you left this, due to this weight, right, this these 5 rotations which we have already done in reverse direction, that will or this flywheel will get rotated in this direction, and it will fall down, and so on. So first of all we have to hold it, then we have to remove this, right? Then left the flywheel, what happens, one by one turn will we can say the resolve, because of this gravitational force which is pulled by this 200 gram mass in downward direction. And yes, after 5 rotations will completed, what happens, this pin which we have just hanged in the axle will remove. Once this pin will remove, this mass will fall down on the ground, right? Let us say it is ground. So once the mass is fall down on the ground, then we have to start your stopwatch, because how many counts or how many rotations are taking place by this particular flywheel will be noted down on this counter. So don't worry about that. What we have to do, we just have to, as soon as the noise will come, as soon as this mass will hit the ground, you have to start the stopwatch, right? So start the stopwatch, and yes, due to this what happens, the flywheel will take number of rotations, not only the 5, yes, obviously more than that, and those rotations will be recorded on this counter. Just you have to record the time required to stop this particular flywheel. Yes, obviously it will rotate, and after few seconds or after few minutes it will stop. Once it has been stopped, then switch off the stopwatch and record the time, and at the same time note down how many rotations it has been taken on the counter. Okay, now you got the idea. You just have to take the time and n number of rotations. Okay, right. So let us move towards the observation table, so that you will get more clear idea what exactly we have to write. Now I hope you can see this observation table, and whatever I said, that is only the procedure. So observation table, here serial number, because we will take 3 different sets. One is of 200 gram, then 400 gram, right, and then 600 gram. So 3 sets. So for serial number 1, 200 gram, mass attached to the string 200. Okay, now the number of revolutions of flywheel before mass detach, means before the mass hits the ground, how much we have given, 5 revolutions we have given. So we will keep that also common to all the 3 sets, right, 5. And now here the number of revolutions of the flywheel to come to the rest after mass detach, means once it hits the mass, what happen, or once the mass hits the ground, the flywheel rotates, and after some time it will come to the rest. So till that time, how much rotations or how much revolutions it has taken, that is what we have to note down here. And obviously n double dash, n triple dash means number of trials. So 3 sets of 3 different mass but at the same time for one single mass we will take the 3 trials for accuracy purpose. That is what just n prime, n double prime and n triple prime. Okay, and corresponding time t prime, t double prime and t triple prime. So time from this stopwatch means to take these many revolutions, how much time required to that particular flywheel, that we will note down here. Okay, so n double prime corresponding time t double prime and n triple prime corresponding time required for those number of revolutions t triple prime. Then yes, this is what we know, the number of trials we will just take for the accuracy purpose. So finally we will take the mean of that n prime, n double prime, n triple prime, and obviously this is n2, and similarly we will take the mean of all the 3 times 3 trials. So here this is what n2 and this is what t. Similarly we will do for 400 gram and for the 600 gram also. Okay, now once we finish this observation table, what we got n2 and we got t, right? So obviously mass is different, so we have to find 3 moment of inertias, right? And then finally we will take its mean. So once you finish the observation table, then now you can go to the formula once again. Mass, first of all what we will do, for I will name it as I1 for 200 gram. So 200 gram mass. Okay, the value of G. H means what? Yes, that thing I just forgot to say you. When you have given the 5 rotations initially, then how much is the height of that mass from the ground? That is we called H. This is H, right? Once you have given initially 5 revolutions in reverse direction, so that mass has been just shifted from the ground to some certain height. So this height is what? H. Okay, then T just you got from the observation table. R, yes, that what I said initially, we have to find the radius of this axle of flywheel, that is R. N2 again we got from the observation table, the number of revolutions after mass detach. We have taken 3 trials and we will take mean, so there is no chance of getting wrong. And N1 we know initial number of revolutions we have given, and those are 5. Here for example you can give any, right? So once you fill all the values in this formula, we will get I corresponding to that mass. We know that the moment of inertia is what? The function of mass. So as mass changes, the moment of inertia will change. Therefore we have used 3 different masses here, 200, 400 and 600 gram. Therefore corresponding to those masses we have to calculate the different moment of inertia. So let us find I1, I2 corresponding to 400 gram, right? I3 corresponding to 600 gram, and finally we will take the mean of these 3. Now you can take the mean because we have calculated separately for by substituting separate mass. Therefore it is simply I1 plus I2 plus I3 divided by 3, and this will be the moment of inertia. And we know the moment of inertia's unit, see here, mass into, moreover we call it as radius of gyration, so it's a square, right? So mass is measured in, here we have measured in gram, and radius we have measured in centimeter, so centimeter square. So gram centimeter square. This is how we have to perform this experiment, right? Now let's go to the experimental part, and where we have to actually take the readings, so you will get the more clear idea, right? Let's move towards the experiment. Yes, now friends, come to the experimental part of our practical to find the moment of inertia of flywheel. So yes friends, this is the flywheel which can rotate about its axis of rotation. This is actually the axis of rotation that we call the axle also. So in our formula you have seen the small r, that is what? The radius of this axle. So whenever you went to the practical, first we should get that value. So by using what? Vernier caliper. So by taking vernier caliper, what we will do? We will first of all find out the radius of that axle. So firstly, that means we are actually finding the diameter, and that by dividing diameter by 2 we will get the radius. So I will take the first reading here, then one of the reading here and another reading somewhere here. Because of the accuracy purpose, we will take 3 readings and then we will find mean diameter and then finally the radius of the axle of flywheel. This is actually flywheel, this is axle, and as I told you in the chart discussion also, there is a counter on the axle only which counts how many revolutions the flywheel is taking. Okay. Now, initially let us check whether it is exactly on 0 or not. Yes, that means if previous counts were there, you should make it 0, right. Now, what we have to do then, after we have to just give 5 revolutions in reverse manner, right. So, what we call that, the number of revolutions before mass detach means before mass is detached from the axle. So, this is the mass we have to attach. I told you the hanger itself has 200 gram mass. So, in this order only we will increase the mass 200, 400 and 600. We will take the 3 different sets of reading corresponding to 3 different masses 200, 400 and 600. So, initially this hanger I will attach here to this string, right. And I told you this is what we can say, a nail is here and we have to attach this, we have to fix this on a hole on axle. So, this axle has a hole here, so in which I will keep this nail, and first of all let me see up to what height it went. Okay, no problem. And then what we have to do, we have to give 5 revolutions in reverse manner. So, I will count it. So, I am giving in reverse manner, so that mass will come above certain height. Okay. So, let me count 1, then 2, 3, 4 and 5. Once you have given the 4 revolutions in reverse manner, just hold it, because if you remove the hand, what happens, due to the gravity, this 200 gram mass is attached, therefore, this will be just take out the revolutions that we have given in opposite direction. So, just hold for a second. For what purpose? We have to note down the height from the ground of that particular mass. So, that we will note down first of all. So, the height from the mass or height from the ground is about 68, it is about 68 centimeter. So, that is what h. Yes, that also we require for the calculation purpose. So, when you are doing practical, instead of wasting your time, just take it initially, and we know for 400 for 400 gram mass and for 600 gram mass also we will give the 5 revolutions in reverse manner before mass detach. Therefore, the h will be same for all 3 sets, right. Now keep stopwatch in your hand and then remove this hand. And as soon as mass hits the ground, what we have to do? We have to start the stopwatch, right, and we have to measure both, how many revolutions it will take till it comes to the rest. Okay, now it is at rest, but as I remove, what happens, the turns which we have given, that will what we can say, will take out by this mass, and yes, after that this flywheel will take some revolutions, and after some time it comes to the rest position. So, so for that thing, how much time required, that also we have to note, and how much revolutions it has been taken. So, for revolution purpose, no worries, this counter will count how many revolutions it will take. Okay. Now, see, as I remove, and as soon as this mass detached and hits the ground, we have to start the stopwatch. Okay. You will get some sound also when it reaches to the ground. Okay. Now, look at the flywheel carefully as I am removing my hand. So, as it hits the ground, we will start the stopwatch. Okay. Now, see. So, you need not to do anything, you need not to count anything, because this stopwatch is counting the time and the counter is counting the number of revolutions. But yes, you have to ensure that when it stops, you should stop the stopwatch also. It should come to the rest position. Okay. So, it came to the rest position, you have to note down this. So, in the stopwatch you recorded 26 second time, 26-second time, and the number of revolutions, it has taken 14 revolutions. That is it. This is what we have to do. So, what we are doing actually, we will again do the same for accuracy purpose, right. We know we will take this again and attach it, okay. And now already here 14 counts are, or 14 revolutions are recorded. So, make it 0 first of all by moving it in reverse direction. Yes, now it is exactly 0, okay. And then give it 5 revolutions in reverse manner and do the same procedure, right. And then after we will attach 400 gram mass, okay. Now, let me attach first of all 400 gram, and let us take one trial of 400, and it is sufficient. We will just see, or we will just see what happens, whether the number of turns and the time will increase or not. Just remember what we have recorded for the 200 gram, 14 revolutions and 26-second time, okay. Now, for 600 again give the 5 revolutions in reverse manner, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Just stop and hold the flywheel, right. Again take the stopwatch in your hand. Again this stopwatch has already recorded the 20 second, 25 second, 26 second. So, make it reset. Now, it is on 0. So, yes, and now I will remove the hand. Due to the 400 gram mass, it is it will come to the rest, or it will come to the ground very fast as compared to the 200. Now, when it hits the ground, we will again start the stopwatch and counter will count the reading. Now, see, the revolutions are now faster as compared to the previous case, and obviously it will take more time, no doubt, and more revolutions also. So, the counter is counting the revolutions, do not worry about that, and you should keep the hand on the close button of the stopwatch or stop button. As soon as it comes to the rest position, we have to stop the stopwatch, right. Now, you can see how many, 40 and 41, 42, 42 second is time required, and yes, 30 revolutions it has taken, okay. So, again for 400 purpose, we will take the 3 trials, right, and do the same for 600 mass also, okay. So, this is what we have to do in this experiment, friends, and how to calculate the moment of inertia exactly for 3 different masses, and average we will see in the calculation part, right. Now, let us talk about the calculation part. So, in which first of all we will talk about the readings that we have taken on the experiment, right. So, yes, just I told you we have to take 3 different sets corresponding to 3 different masses, 200, 400 and 600, and yes, every time we have given 5 revolutions before mass detached in reverse direction, and yes, corresponding to 200 gram, we got these these are the number of revolutions after mass detached, 12, 14 and 14. Now, for this purpose only we are taking 3 trials, so that in average the more accurate value will be gained, right. So, the average of that will be 13.33. Similarly, the corresponding time to these particular revolutions, it is 23, 24, 25, and the mean of that will be 24 something, right. So, similarly we will do with the 400 gram corresponding times and the number of revolutions taken, so and their mean also. So, as you see, the mass is increased, obviously the number of turns taken by the flywheel also increases, rotations increases, and the time required is also increased, obviously, right. More the mass, more will be the gravitational force, and more will be the number of revolutions taken by flywheel, and obviously the more will be the time required, okay. Now, here how did we found the radius of the axle of flywheel, okay. It is not of flywheel, so the axle of flywheel, So we are finding the radius of axle of flywheel. For that we are using the vernier caliper whose least count is 0.001, or you can use the screw gauge also. This is actually used by screw gauge, its least count is 0.001. so using screw gauge also we can find. So MSR it is 2.1 and circular scale reading it is 37, and yes, multiply with the least count and we got here 2.17. and yes, after taking the average of these three readings we got actually the diameter, because this is what the axle and we are hanging the screw gauge from like this, right? So what actually we are finding this value, so that is what diameter. Okay, so the diameter once you got, so taken mean diameter 2.156 centimeter, and yes, the radius is diameter divided by 2, and we got it as 1.078 centimeter, right? Now let us substitute all the values, because from the observation table also we got the N2 and T2 T values. So let me see what happens with one of the calculation. So mass is 200 and we have measured the height, and that height is, here we found this height is near about 170 yes, simply 74 centimeter. Okay, so the 74 centimeter, and obviously in three different trials also, or in three different sets also, we are giving the same number of turns in reverse direction before mass attached, so the height will remain also same. So H is same, only the mass is going to be changed and corresponding N2 value and T2 value will be changed, otherwise all the values will remain as it is. So 200, right, now it is 13.33, and this is what actually the value of T, and yes, then here sorry, it is the value of N2, then this one is 980 our G, then height and all. So if you substitute all the values in the basic formula, so simply we can get the moment of inertia. So corresponding to 200 gram we got 1.025 into 10 raised to 5 gram centimeter square. Similarly, if we calculate by to the corresponding to both remaining masses 400 and to 600, by substituting all values we will get I2 as like this 2.050 into 10 raised to 5 gram centimeter square, and I3 which is corresponding to 600 gram mass 3.075 into 10 raised to 5 gram centimeter square. And as I told, finally we have to take the mean, and the mean value of moment of inertia is found to be 2.50 into 10 raised to 5 gram centimeter square. So this is what the value we found in laboratory experiment of the moment of inertia of flywheel, right? So and finally we will write like this result: the moment of inertia of the flywheel is found to be 2.50 into 10 raised to 5 gram centimeter square, right? Yes, this is what the simple experiment by which we can find the moment of inertia. So obviously the answer is vary from person to person, don't worry about it. The methodology is important, and that's what I just wanted to convey with you, right? So if you feel this is value addition to your knowledge, then like our video. For more such videos, subscribe to our channel, share with your friends and press the bell icon, so that as soon as I will post my next video you will get the notifications, right? So friends, we will meet in the next video with new video, new concept, new practical. Till then, keep learning, keep watching, and